Control to 0, waiting for the call, so you let me know when I can actually start proceeding over.
Neil, 16 minutes till we're live. Helicopter's in position.
Mike's on.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, but that won't be half past 3, 4 o'clock. Can it not?
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
It's one of the world's toughest endurance challenges.
We are going to have to drive.
The longest ocean race around the planet. Yet its crew are drawn from all walks of life, spanning 3 generations. Many are novices before completing extensive pre-race training. But even this cannot prepare them for the extremes Mother Nature has in store. From hurricane force winds to squalls that can knock a boat flat, and freezing temperatures to the blistering heat of the doldrums. The toughest, wildest conditions imaginable. This is the Clipper Round the World Yacht Race.
Welcome to the finish of the 12th edition of the Clipper Round the World Yacht Race, live from London. I'm Jonathan Levy, and I'll be anchoring the commentary here today at the Royal Docks, the Royal Albert Dock, opposite the London City Airport. I'm joined by Della Parsons, who's the crew recruitment director for the Clipper Round the World Yacht Race. Welcome, Della.
Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, really excited, as I'm sure we can hear the crowds already. Thrilled to see the boats finally arrive and coming to their final resting place at the end of their amazing and fantastic challenge and adventure.
Yeah, they're just passing our commentary position, and I'll be coming back to you later because you've done the race twice.
That's right, yes.
So great to hear your insights. We'll also be joined on the water by Neil Sackley, who is aboard Qingdao. And we've also got Jess Izzat, who will be with the crowds, and they'll both be helping us with the prize-giving ceremony a bit later. But this is an amazing race. It goes around the world, 40,000 miles. Let's have a look at that route and where these people have been today. And as you can see, great excitement here. And these boats have been 20,000 miles out to the midpoint and then another 20,000 nautical miles to get all the way around the world back to here today. It was an incredible journey, a remarkable challenge. Let's just look at where these crews have been. The Clipper Race is a global series of 15 races between 6 continents over 11 months. Starting in England, the first race is a sprint to Portimao in Portugal, then a downwind roller coaster to Punta del Este, Uruguay. Race 3 takes on the South Atlantic to South Africa, followed by the infamous Southern Ocean sleigh ride. The Australia leg starts in Fremantle and ends at Early Beach in the Whitsundays. The Clipper Race would usually head to China, but was diverted to the Philippines in 2020 due to the pandemic. The fleet should have visited the city of Sanya, then Zhuhai and Qingdao, before it crosses the mighty Pacific Ocean to reach Seattle. From there, it's down to Panama, then Bermuda, before a stop in New York, and the final 2 races across the Atlantic Ocean to Derry Londonderry and the finish off the UK. So as you can see, it's a long journey. Some of these crew out here today have done the whole thing, 40,000 plus miles around the world. Others have joined for 1 or more legs. And it is a race, and it's a hard race. I mean, you've been on this, Stella. You know what it's like, how nail-biting it can be.
Oh, you know, it's an incredible challenge just to circumnavigate the globe by yacht and to be part of a race like this where they're also racing against all of the teams. You know, it's rivalry on the water, but it's friendly rivalry. You know, they're racing against each other, but they're also all supporting each other all around the world. And there's a huge feeling of great camaraderie across all of the teams, which is part of what makes this event so special and creates this amazing atmosphere.
Yeah, and we can see the actual winning team, Qingdao, but we're also got Jess out there with the crowds, and let's see who she's got with her today.
Yes, it is a beautiful day down here at Royal Albert Docks, and I mean, we're welcoming the boats in, as you can probably see in the background, and I am joined by someone who has made the right choice in what t-shirt he's decided to don. Graham, how are we doing? What's your connection?
Donna Von Tonk was my physio, and she's been on the circumnavigation of the event, and she's enjoyed every minute of it, from what I can understand.
Yeah, we literally just saw you waving and shouting Donna over the side. It's actually quite emotional, and I don't even know the people on the boats, but it's incredible, isn't it?
Well, we've followed her from day one. We came to see her off here. We tried to meet her in Australia, missed the boat.
Oh, no.
And we're back here to see her home.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, she's had an incredible event.
So how long exactly has it been since you last saw Donna?
Well, I've seen her recently, because when they stopped in the Philippines, she came back to England, and then we joined the boat again. But we saw her up in 2019 when she started.
What is the first thing that you're going to say to Donna when she comes onto dry land?
When's my next physio appointment?
Amazing, Graham. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Back to Jonathan.
Thanks, Jess. Well, you heard, you know, friends and family and other crew gathering, very exciting.
Yeah.
It's a challenging time for them, I guess, as well, welcoming the teams back.
You know, it's been such a long time, as you say. You know, even when teams or people have taken part for just one or a couple of legs, everybody has been part of the whole adventure from the day race starts or even before that point, and is following everybody around the way. So it's a huge emotional involvement for not just for the crew, but for the supporters of the crew too.
Well, we can see UNICEF there, dare to lead. And out on the Qingdao boat, we have Neil Sackley. And Neil has the skipper with him now. So over to you, Neil.
Jonathan, thank you. And what a thrill it is to be back on board one of the Clipper Round the World yachts. What a thrill it is to be back in London. And what a thrill it is to be next to the man who's probably got the biggest smile in London at the moment, the winning skipper of Qingdao, Chris Brooks. Obvious question, how does it feel?
Oh, it's amazing, yeah, just like all the crew here, and everyone's enjoying themselves, and just, you know, really enjoying the win of the last race, third in the last race, and the win of the overall Clipper Around the World race 1920. So yeah, we're really, really pleased.
We've had a taste now of what the London welcome is like. How does it feel?
Oh, it's amazing. There's so many people, and yeah, it's a bit overwhelming, really. But yeah, we're doing our best, and trying to show the boats off and show you a little bit about what we've been doing, and yeah, it's great.
You're a man that's used to being on the podium. I mean, just look at the statistics for this race: 8 times on the podium.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, we're so pleased, and you know, I'm blessed with a really good crew to you know, to sail with, and you know, we all get on so well. There's a great team dynamic, so it just makes it so much easier. And the results come with that, I think. You know, when everyone's getting on well, and you know, it just means that the racing comes together, and everyone's kind of responsible for each other. No one wants to let each other down when you're in that situation. So it's been really good.
And it's the 8th time that the great city of Qingdao has sponsored a boat.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when we were going for which people were going to be with which teams, it was a little bit random. But my cousin was a Olympic bronze medalist in the Paralympics at Qingdao, so it was really nice to be representing them.
And I can tell you, you're in for a Qingdao welcome when we pull up alongside. Jonathan, from on board Qingdao, it's back to you.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, great excitement, as you can understand. They've been in this race over the last, 16 years. This is the 8th race, and they've finally pulled it off. And I know they'll be going absolutely crazy in Qingdao watching this because they're so passionate.
Qingdao have been great supporters. They are so supportive of sailing. You know, they are the kind of Chinese centre of sailing. They've been massive partners of the race, and they'll be so delighted to have finally got their first place after so many years of participating. It's a great result for them, and as you say, there'll be huge celebrations.
Yeah, and for friends and family, it's actually quite nail-biting because they're stuck to the race view, watching the boats go around, wondering what the conditions are like.
Yeah, it's hard for them. You know, they're looking at the race view, which is normally updated every few hours. You know, they're looking at the wind. They're kind of trying to imagine what life is like on board, watching the blogs and stuff like that. So you know, they're living through every moment. They might not be on board sailing, but they literally do live through the moments with their, you know, the people that they're supporting, their family members and friends. It really involves everybody.
Yeah, well, Jess is in amongst the crowds there. Jess, who have you got with you?
It's a glorious celebration down here as I'm joined by some of the crew members that were on the winning boat. I mean, I've got Pip, Lisa and Phil. Pip, what legs were you on this journey?
I did 1, 2, 3.
Yes, and what have we got, Lisa?
Oh, very challenging legs, 6 and 7.
Yeah, the damaged leg. I was a circumnavigator that once we got off the Philippines, I couldn't come back for work commitments and things like that. So.
Well, I mean, you're still part of the winning team, though, right?
Yeah,
We can still cheer that,
Yeah, we're the winners.
For sure. Pip, so how was it for you, and had you sailed before?
Yeah, I had sailed before. It was fantastic. As a little boy, I watched Knox Johnson circumnavigate the world. I watched Sir Francis Chichester, and I've always wanted to sail in the Southern Ocean. But I'm a bit of a coward. I didn't want to get there on my own. So I thought this was my best opportunity. So it was fantastic. It was hard work, but it was just a great experience. Fantastic skipper, fantastic boat, and fantastic mates and crew. So I loved it. Yeah, it was a wonderful lifetime experience.
What were the sea legs like when you got on dry land?
A little bit wobbly, a little bit wobbly and a bit tired, but a few beers always help.
Of course. And was there a tough memory or a particular funny memory that you have?
Well, some of the memories I shouldn't really share because they're a little bit lavatorial, perhaps.
Yeah. I know, Lisa, you said that you had a disastrous time. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, well, we were doing really well sailing up from Subic Bay to Japan, and then we had a problem with our running backstay with our boat, and we had to abandon the race and go into Japan, which was really challenging for us, but we had an amazing time in Japan, and then we sailed the Pacific on our own.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, guys, cheers to you. Congratulations, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
Back to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, talking about the conditions there, the Pacific, and equally challenging is when they head out from South Africa and head down to Australia into the roaring 40s. Really challenging water, isn't it?
I mean, both those oceans are known to be the two biggest oceans. You know, that part of the world down in the roaring 40s, it's where there's no landmass to stop the waves building as they circle around the planet there. So it's that leg in particular is one that some crew really want to do, you know, to have that big challenge, 40, 50-foot waves, huge wind strength. It's a real, what I call grunt leg. You know, you've got to really want to tackle that big physical challenge, but it's also majestical when you're down there to see some of the sea states.
Great. Well, we've actually got some footage of those conditions, so let's have a look at that for the next couple of minutes. Yeah, some incredible conditions there. And of course, there are 15 races, and on each race there are points, there are bonus points, there are jokers. It's quite a complex process to build up. Like the winning team, Qingdao, has 145 points.
Yeah, it's so the winning team, it's a bit like the Grand Prix. The winning team gets 11 points. The team that comes in last gets just 1 point, but they can also win additional points. We have things like scoring gates for each race and speed gates, and that really kind of keeps it exciting right the way throughout the race. It's really been anyone's game, certainly within the top few of the fleet.
Yeah, and of course, it's not an old cliche, but everyone has achieved going through the world's toughest oceans to get around this. You know, it's almost icing on the cake, the podium places. And in second place is Punta del Este, and I believe Jess has some of their crew and maybe friends and family with her.
All right, so emotions are running high down by the dock here because I'm joined by the family of Punta del Este boat. Who are we welcoming back, Mark?
My foster dad, Dave Peacock.
And Emma as well. It's your dad, isn't it?
It's my dad, yeah. We're really looking forward to having him home with us, aren't we?
We also have Isaac and Jacob, and it's your granddad. What are you going to say to granddad when he arrives?
Congratulations on coming second.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? What an achievement. That is so, so good. Guys, how long has he been out there? How long have you been missing him?
100 days, and I've been missing him very, very much. I can't wait to show him all my new stuff.
What are you going to show him?
All my new Lego.
Emma, have you been able to keep in touch with him whilst he's been away?
Yeah, we've kept in touch intermittently. We've sent some videos and some pictures and some words on WhatsApp and things. So yeah, but looking forward to actually physically having him home.
What are you most excited to do with your dad once he gets back?
I think just watch him with the grandchildren really, and just actually to have him back. It'd be lovely. And I need him for a house move as well.
Oh, so. Okay, well, very useful, very useful. He's an active guy. Well, thank you so much, and yeah, give him a big hug for me as well. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jess. Lovely to hear that, and that'll be a great reunion, won't it, Della?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, I remember what it was like when I came at the end of my race, and family and friends were all there, super excited to see you again. And of course, they want to hear all of the stories firsthand from the race. There's so much catching up to do. It's really a great sort of first few moments, but first few days of kind of getting back into that too.
Yeah, and we're seeing Qingdao there, and we'll go back on there in just a few seconds. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, the boats couldn't get into the Chinese ports, and they had to pause for 2 years in the Philippines.
Yeah, that's been a big challenge for all of the crew as well. You know, it's already a big challenge taking on this race, but an even bigger challenge dealing with the pandemic in the middle of it. So, you know, a lot of the crew have been able to rejoin their boats. Some weren't able to come back, as we heard earlier on from one of the Qingdao crew. But it's an amazing achievement to really being able to kind of restart the race, and for the commitment from everybody involved to get back on board and finish what they started has been fantastic.
Well, the flares are going off. Let's go back to Neil aboard Qingdao. Neil?
Look, honestly, can you see a double wave by her teacher? Doing a double wave.
Welcome back on Qingdao. I tell you, the atmosphere on board here and the emotions are sky high. George, who have you just seen?
So I've just seen my head teacher. I'm a school teacher, and my head teacher allowed me to take time off to do it, and she came running along, waving and screaming, and I've just seen two of my best mates, so I've had a proper cry, which I didn't expect.
And this welcome into London.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
it's amazing. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool.
Now, Jody, you're from Michigan.
Yes.
You joined the boat right at the start.
Yeah, right from the start. I'm a circumnavigator, and it's been a great trip around the world.
But you had a bit of a gap halfway through.
Yeah, I'm coming into Australia like 8 days before we got there. I took a fall. I broke 18 bones, collapsed my lung. It was pretty bad. Left up in the bunk for 8 days, but then recovered. I had to miss the next race, race 4, as it would be. And but then I drove across Australia and joined the boat back on the other side of Australia. It was amazing.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And you've seen somebody you know as well.
Yeah, my wife is on shore here. Yeah, she's cheering me on. She's wanting to let me go on this crazy trip, and yeah, supported me the whole way.
What was the best part of the voyage for both of you, George?
Do you know what? So I'm new to sailing, so I didn't know what to expect. So I don't have one highlight. Like, everything has been amazing. There's been some real challenges and some lows, but that in itself is is good to have. So the people, this team are incredible.
Friends for life, Jody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. My interest in it came, I don't know, when I was 5 and I watched Sir Robin sail around the world. I didn't just know, he was just Robin then. It was my interest in sailing. I didn't actually pursue it until I was 20. And then I wanted to see the Southern Oceans, and this is the way for me to see it. The highlight for me was seeing the 60-foot waves down in the South Atlantic. It was just amazing.
I can imagine, and some of the sights that the pair of you have seen together, they will live with you forever. George, Jody, thank you very much. From on board Qingdao, back to you.
Thanks, Neil. Great hearing from George and Judy there, and just showing the range of emotions, how tough this race is. It can be unforgiving. Luckily, he's fully recovered, but every emotion and every range of challenge, I guess.
Yeah, it's the challenging in terms of the physicality, but as we're sensing there, challenging in terms of the teamwork as well. And that was a great example of Jody, who was in from the start, and George, who actually came in to join the race post-pandemic, to fill one of the places of somebody that couldn't rejoin the team. And they've already kind of clearly bonded as a team, and that's a great example of the camaraderie and the closeness that you form when you're taking on challenges like this.
Well, the boats are preparing to berth, and they're going to be tantalizingly close to their friends and family. Let's go back to Jess on the dockside.
So I'm joined by Vic and Arvin, who are off the Seattle boat. Vic, what legs were you doing?
I was doing leg 1.
Yep. And what about you, Arvin?
I did 1, 2, 4, and 6.
And you've already told me off camera that you are coming back for more. Why is that?
Can't get enough of this, right? I haven't done the whole world. I've missed 4 of the legs, so I originally wanted to be a circumnavigator and haven't done that yet, so still something to accomplish.
It sounds like you did the coldest legs, because you were also just telling me how it was the cold that you struggled with.
Leg 6 was, by far the coldest I've ever been in my life at points, and that was probably the biggest struggle that I had.
Whereabouts was that?
Somewhere out in the middle, right around the international date line in the North Pacific.
Yeah.
Yeah, snow and ice, and it was cold.
How do you keep warm in a situation like that? You can't just jump off the boat and grab another jumper.
You go below decks for a short period of time and get some hot coffee or warm tea and warm up a little bit, and then go back out and get cold again, and then come back down and warm up a little bit. So it's a cycle.
Were there any bits of wildlife that you saw out there? Because I can imagine you encountered some, right?
Yeah, we saw some amazing pods of dolphins jumping in between the phosphorescence on the bioluminescence at night. Just incredible. Looks like stars in the water.
What did you miss the most about dry land?
I suppose it's just nice to have a pint. Family and friends. I mean, you have all these people on board that are great, but you're working most of the time, right? So you're still socializing, but family and friends you get to miss in, and that's probably the most thing I missed. So.
For sure, and it's been such a great celebration down here with all family and friends as well. Thank you so much, guys, and congratulations, of course, as well. Top 10. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jess. And yeah, I mean, that's a huge, challenging leg across the North Pacific to Seattle. 4 weeks. I mean, you did it as well. What was your recollections of that leg?
It is tough. It's a tough leg, and actually, once you get out into big conditions in the North Pacific, it stays big for almost the entire month. So it's pretty relentless. You have small lows, but it's huge conditions. As Arvin was saying there, it can be bitterly cold at times, and when you're in the wind chill factor, it's so cold. It is just about ducking down below deck to get out of the wind chill factor. There's no heating on board these boats, don't forget. So you're not going down into a heated boat, you're just going out of the wind chill factor below decks. And I was saying to someone else earlier on, actually, that was thinking about applying to do the race, it's those big legs, getting out of your warm sleeping bag and getting into cold, damp clothes to go on deck where it's even colder and wetter. That's part of the big, not just physical challenge, but mental challenge to keep doing that. And you do that because you've got the other watch that are on deck for 4 hours, and they're really cold and they're waiting to come down and have their chance to get into their warm sleeping bag. So it's all about teamwork. It's all about, keeping going and keeping mentally strong as well as physically strong in those legs.
And people tell me that it's the harder legs like that where they actually get their greatest sense of achievement.
Yeah, it is. It's not always fun at the time. It's not always fun at the time, but, it's you ask anyone who's done this race, what is your toughest moment and what is your best memory? And they will talk about their toughest moment, and then the next sentence they will say, and that's my best memory. because it's the times that are the most challenging, and when you come through those are your biggest sense of achievements afterwards.
And of course, boats and teams from all over the world, but not just from places. UNICEF is represented here because it's the charity of the race. And I know Club Race have gifted the boat. It's not funded out of charity funds, and that's raised over £1 million.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And, you know, it's the crew themselves, the crew supporters, they all get behind as part of their sort of participation in the race, in raising funds and awareness, of course, for UNICEF. And they visit quite a lot of projects as they go around the world during the race as well.
Okay, well, Jess is actually with, I think, someone from UNICEF at the moment. Jess?
I am joined by the wonderful Lindy down here at Royal Docks. Lindy, I know you're supporting UNICEF. I can tell by your T-shirt as well. Who was on the boat that you're supporting?
It's my husband, Graham Scarborough. He did leg 7. Yeah.
Did he have a nice time whilst he was out there?
Brilliant. Yeah, he loved it. He loved it. Yeah.
Is he a sailor?
He's done a bit before, but I wouldn't say he's a long-term sailor. But no, he has done a bit.
And how long was he away from you?
It was about 6-7 weeks. Yeah.
Was it a hard time without him, or was it like, you know, a little bit of, you know, me time?
No, I'm glad to have him back anyway. So yeah.
And I called you wonderful because not only are you supporting this amazing race, but also you've been raising money for UNICEF, haven't you?
I have. I've been making the jewellery, the clipper jewellery, which you have, and earrings.
Which you're modelling. Yes. I love it.
No, it's been really great actually making these. I met so many people as well.
And so you've been making this jewellery in support of UNICEF and raising money, and that's been from the beginning, right, hasn't it?
From the beginning, yes. Yeah, the first day actually, crew allocation, I thought, oh, I'd make one of these boats because they're such a lovely shape, and especially a spinnaker sail as well. So,
are you making jewellery already?
Yes, I am a jeweller. Yes, yeah.
Do you know how much? Have you got a total of how much you've raised?
I personally have raised about £1,600.
Wow.
Yeah. And my husband raised as well, some as well, so yes.
That is absolutely incredible. Well, Lindy, thank you so much for joining us and congratulations. Yeah, everyone go grab yourself some jewellery for UNICEF. Thank you so much, Lindy. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks. Incredible that, isn't it? I know the team on UNICEF themselves have raised over £100,000, and then other teams have been raising, I think the next was Dare to Lead, at over £30,000. And also, it's not just the money, it's the awareness and visiting the work they do, and I guess we see at the moment there's no greater need for the work of an organisation like UNICEF, sadly.
That's right, yeah. You know, there's a lot of challenges going on in the world, and, you know, a charity like UNICEF does amazing work, you know, in all corners of the globe to support children, in particular, who are in need. So, you know, and it's a charity that I think a lot of people have charities, you know, through their own lives that they're affiliated with, but everybody really tends to get behind this effort for UNICEF as well and recognises the great work they do. And as I said previously, there are points around the world where the teams get to go and see some of these projects and see some of, you know, where the fundraising goes into and the difference that it makes to children in various parts of the globe. So it's a fantastic effort, and one that I'm sure we'll continue to do in coming years.
Yeah, and as the boats prepare to berth alongside it in the dock, the first one to berth will indeed be Dare to Lead. Now, this is interesting because this boat is built on a concept, you know, rather than a place or a specific organisation. So what they're doing is talking about flying the flag for teamwork, determination, innovation, leadership. And I guess these are very much the qualities of the Clipper race. But interesting that you've got a team who's actually flying under that banner.
Yeah, it's great, you know, and you know, that kind of encouraging people to step up, the leadership, the understanding yourself, self-awareness, and actually, you know, the theme of realizing what you can achieve and the difference that you can make as an individual and a team, I think is thematic across the race. But it's great to have a boat and team that kind of represents that, you know, putting yourself out there, kind of, you know, coming forward, stepping up to the challenge, and becoming a leader. And it's, you know, to have that represented, and we've seen in past races as well, you know, that we are bringing new people into leadership skills and helping them realise what they're capable of doing.
Yeah, and on the screen at the moment, we've got WTC Logistics. They take all your stuff around the world, not on this boat, I must add, in containers. Now, they must have a great challenge, you know, a huge challenge to get all that stuff around the world in time for the boats arriving.
It is a huge logistical challenge. You know, a lot of people don't really appreciate the work that goes on behind running a race such as this. There are huge containers that get shipped around the world to support, you know, all of the spare parts. When the boats come into ports, they've got lots of spare parts and things that need fixing and replacing. So we've got huge containers of spares with our maintenance team and, you know, other sort of paraphernalia that goes into setting up big race villages like this here today. So it's a massive logistical effort that goes in.
Yeah. So there we can see Dare to Lead just about to tie up, just handing their lines over. And this team under the skippership of Nigel Parry, and you know, he's been training Clipper Race team.
Actually seen the fruits of his own labour.
Yeah, so there we see them. I mean, the excitement. I mean, what was it like for you when you got back after your race?
And, you know, it's thrilling. It's double-edged, actually. It's thrilling. You can see that there will be families and supporters of those people on board the boats who are sort of almost within touching distance there, but not quite able to reach out and give people a hug. So you've got all these emotions of reunions. Arvin earlier on was saying it's family and friends that you tend to miss. You don't tend to miss stuff, but it's the people that you miss. They're anxious to have those first hugs that you might not have had for a year or a number of months. But it's also, you know, for the race crew, it's such a huge part of your life, whether you're on for one leg or several. It's also tinged with a little bit of it's over now. A lot of people will have been building up to the race for 2 or 3 years, and they've a great sense of euphoria, achieving what they set out to achieve, but a little bit tinged of, oh, what's next? And actually, that's one of the things that we really want people to do, is to not just kind of see this as the end of an adventure, but it's a starting point for what's the next adventure going to be.
Fantastic. Well, maybe that's a question for one of the crew members of Dare to Lead, because I think Jessie's there with the team of Dare to Lead right now.
It's very rowdy down here because we have Dare to Lead, which is just docked, and I'm joined by Marie, who's just jumped off the boat for us. I was hoping that we weren't going to lose you down the side.
Me too.
How are you feeling? How's the sea legs?
Oh, this is moving. It's good, yeah, and I haven't got much of a voice. Good stopover in Derry, Londonderry, so yeah, it's been brilliant.
Yeah, how long ago was the last time you were on dry land?
I think it was Sunday. Yes,
well, that's
Sunday,
all right.
yeah, no.
And how long have you been at sea?
I left for Bermuda on the 14th of June. We had a few days in Bermuda, then we sailed to New York. That was about 5 days. Then we had a stopover in New York, and then we were 14 days, I think, from New York to Derry, Londonderry. Made record time. They sent us around parts of Scotland. Sent us around Lockall and St Kilda because we were going to be too early. Had some really interesting weather, which is never sailed before, so it was very challenging. Yeah.
What was it that got you to sign up in the first place? Because to me, if you haven't sailed before, that's a bit wild.
I happened to be in Liverpool at the start of the race 4 years ago, and I started following it because they had a 24-year-old English woman as a skipper, and after about 6, 7 weeks, I said to my husband, who's behind me, I'd love to try something like that. He said, yeah, go for it. So I went for the interview, spent the money for the new kitchen, on a sailing holiday, and my daughter, who I haven't seen because she was doing her A-levels when I left, is here to see me, so I haven't seen her.
Oh my God, you're going to make me cry. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Do you want to have a hug? I think you need a hug, yeah. Oh, wow. You're going to make me go off now. Oh, what's the first thing that you want to do now that you're back on dry land?
Just see all my family and friends. Cold beer. Came to cold beer. Managed to get washed and cleaned up on the boat. Just enjoy it. You know, I've done something that people like me don't normally do, and there's been tough bits, but it's been brilliant.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about signing up?
Go for it. Yeah, just go for it. Absolutely. I'd recommend it to anyone.
Marie, I'm going to leave you with your daughter. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Jonathan, back to you.
Thanks, Jess. So wonderful, wonderful emotions there. And whether you've been on for one leg of the whole race, it's just as emotional, isn't it?
It really is. You know, everybody is wholly invested into this. You know, people that are on for one leg are following and supporting their team for all of the other legs, and often offering support from home. You can do a lot there. So it's a full team involvement for the whole 11 months, no matter how long you're actually on the boat.
Yeah, and we can see Seattle alongside now. I mean, you know, they're celebrating their maritime history. The Seattle Sports Commission's behind it. They've been, you know, showing off what Seattle's got to offer. I've been along to Seattle. It's a wonderful place. And I think Neil is now there as well, and he's got one of the crew with him. Neil? Oh, sorry, we can't go to Neil just now. But yes, I mean, Seattle, I think they've been in the races 2 or 3 times now. So they've seen the benefit of doing this. And I think we should mention that there are over 45 nationalities take part in this. And each boat, although it represents somewhere, has a multinational crew, maybe a dozen different nationalities on board, but they all become sort of ambassadors for their team partner.
They do. It's great. You know, you're once you're with a team, you become an ambassador for that city, that brand, that whatever it is. You're representing them as you go around the world. So they get to know. You know, they have a particular connection with their host port or their brand and city partner. So you know, and that's part of what joins them. You know, the partnerships that come out through this race are a big part of what keeps the race going as well. So that's super important part of the whole adventure.
Great. And Neil is now by Seattle. So Neil, who have you got with you?
And on board Seattle, and what a London welcome home, Melanie Smith.
Amazing. Hello, hi. Can't believe it. Honestly, don't know why I didn't expect this many people here. It's amazing.
Now you've done 2 legs of the race with a gap in the middle.
I have, yes. So unfortunately, I was part of like 5 where the pandemic interrupted everything, and I've been lucky enough to rejoin and do leg 8 just now from Bermuda all the way to the UK.
What an amazing leg that was, and a special occasion for you.
Just phenomenal, honestly. I didn't think I'd be able to fit it back into my life, and it's been an incredible experience.
And you had your birthday on board as well.
I did in July. Everyone really looked after me, and I had a birthday cake and lots of cards. It was wonderful.
So what was the highlight of the race for you?
I think really the team spirit and how well we all work together, and not coming last.
And this welcome into London, incredible, isn't it?
Just so happy. I've got friends and family here. I can see them already in the distance.
You've spotted friends and family?
I have, yeah. Everyone's so excited. So yeah, thank you. Ooh.
And I mean the crew, it's so close-knit on board, isn't it?
We really are. I mean, I think we're known as the happy team, and we really look after each other. And first and foremost, it's about performance and enjoying ourselves.
And made friends for life?
We definitely have, yeah. I know we've already stayed in touch since prior to the pandemic, and I know that I've made lifelong friends.
So an incredible adventure, a once-in-a-lifetime adventure, but you've got to go off and do something else now.
Yeah, I might have a little rest first and think about what that might be.
What are you most looking forward to when you get off?
A sleep and a shower.
Melanie, thank you. Welcome back to London from Seattle.
Thank you, Neil. Yeah, again, just demonstrating, you know, the euphoria almost at getting in, but appreciating what they've done, and also maybe starting to think about new horizons. What next?
Yeah, exactly. You know, it really does kind of kick off that adventurous spirit. And, you know, so many of my teammates, my race was 12 years ago, but so many of my teammates went on to do other great adventures, and it really inspired them to kind of, you know, to take on more challenges and to do more and more exciting things. So this isn't necessarily the end of the adventure for some people. It's what's going to kickstart them into the next adventure, and it really can be life-changing from that perspective, not just from this experience purely, but for what it then triggers people to carry on and do with their lives afterwards.
And we're seeing the crowds, and I think they're just birth is Shuhai, new to the race, the 3rd Chinese partner for the race. They're in the Great Bay near Hong Kong, and I guess, you know, again, a multinational team, really looking forward, I guess, to being reunited. We saw there some of the pictures of the crew straining to lean over and hug loved ones.
There'll be a big feeling of so close and yet so far at the moment. So they'll be really kind of itching to, as I say, be able to get together with friends and family and get those first big hugs, as we saw Marie there with her daughter just a bit earlier on. It's a really special moment, and you know, people just watching their loved ones having completed such a great challenge as well. It's emotional for everybody.
Yeah, well, we could go back to Jess, who is now alongside Zhuhai.
As you can see, the Zhuhai boat has just docked, and fresh off the boat, we have Nasser. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you.
I see you fist bumping everyone as you come in. How's it feel?
It's such an amazing feeling. I can't explain it in 2 words. It's beautiful.
And how long have you been on the boat?
Well, I've been this one like 3.5 months, but I started from 2019 in August, yeah.
So you've come back from, oh no, it's because of the pandemic, so obviously it got pushed over, so you've been like before and after?
Yeah, I mean the boat was postponed, the race was postponed in Subic Bay in March 2020, 2022. Sorry, 2020, and then now it was resumed in Subic Bay. Unfortunately, I could not make it to Subic Bay, so I flew to Seattle and journeyed.
I feel like you're a very passionate sailor. Had you sailed before?
I've been sailing. I've been living in Zanzibar, in tropical island. So sailing is in my blood. It's all I live all my life. Yeah.
Amazing. And how has it been for you? Like, what's the journey been like?
It's amazing. It's such an amazing experience. I can't explain that in 2 words, unless you ask me in Swahili. Yeah. Otherwise, it's incredible crew. We have a really professional skipper, and the experience to go the traditional way, you can't explain that.
What's it mean to do it with your crew? Like, how has it been with them?
It's been great. It's been really like a good teamwork together. Okay, it's like a family. It's up and down, but most of the time it's super good.
Is there a really memorable moment that stands out for you on this boat?
Many, I can't explain that. It's so memorable, yeah.
And did you see any ocean life or wildlife out there as well?
Well, we did. I mean, from Bermuda, Panama to Bermuda, see hundreds of dolphins, and we see whale shark as well.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so it's beautiful.
Well, look, Nasser, I know there's so many people here who want to see you and congratulate you, but obviously huge congratulations from us, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to be here and see everyone smiling. Thank you for crew, thank you my family, and thank you Zanzibar. Jambo buena.
Back to you, Jonathan.
Fantastic, thanks, Jess. And we should really mention, although people might come to this race as novices, they have some very extensive training. So by the time they get onto the water, they are actually very, practiced in the art of ocean sailing, and then they build on that experience.
That's right. There's 4 weeks of intensive training. So some of these people would probably have applied to take part in the race back in 2017. Their training would have started. Their first couple of weeks training might have been in 2018, and then the final training in 2019 before race starts. So it's been a long journey for all of them. But you're right, there are some people that have never sailed before. A lot of people like Nasser there, who's done, sailing is in his blood, as he was saying. Some people have done little bits of sailing when they were younger and then sort of, lost it for a bit, and now this is their way of getting back into sailing. So it's really for anybody. As you said, the training is there. There's 4 weeks of intensive training that people can split up over an 18-month period. But the training is very focused specifically to be able to sail in open water on our boats. Huge amounts of safety, of course. The training is very, very thorough and really prepares the crew for all of the eventualities that take part in ocean racing, to be able to deal with anything, huge storms like winds, things breaking, sails ripping, being able to repair them and look after your boat as you go. So there's a huge amount of effort that goes into sailing and racing these boats. It's not just about sailing, it's about living, fixing, looking after your boat and equipment.
And look at the camaraderie. They talk about family. Here we are on Go to Bermuda, their first entry in the race. As a team partner, and first time I think the race has gone there. But it's a family where you are, and it's a family with the Clipper race. So they compete on the water, but they're one big family when they get into port.
That's right. And people were talking about the friendships and the camaraderie that they found through the Clipper race and lifelong friends. But some of those friendships will be friendships that are born out of the very first week of training when people start the adventure. and you might not end up on the same team with those people, but those friendships will still last throughout the whole thing. It's you've all done the same adventure, you've all faced the same challenges, and that's what really ties everybody together.
Yeah, yes. And just behind them, visit Sanya from China, just coming alongside. But we've now got Neil at Bermuda. Neil, who have you got with you?
We're back on board a Clipper yacht. The next one to come in is Bermuda. The team have just had a huddle, a big celebration for making it back to London. Max Rivers, you've got the AQP on board. How was it for you?
Just fantastic. The team's really pulled together in the second half of this race. We've seen progressively better results over the course, culminating with a first place across the Atlantic, setting a record for the fastest clipper crossing of the Atlantic. Couldn't be happier with what the team's achieved, and as you can tell from the emotion behind me, it means the world to them.
You're the youngest AQP in the race.
I'm not, unfortunately. I wish I was.
Okay.
I wish I was fairly close, but yeah.
But sailing's been in your blood all your life.
Yeah, it's been in my blood for a while, so I've been doing a lot around the Solent. I live on the Isle of Wight, so prime position to get out on the Solent and go sailing on a weekend whenever possible.
What's the highlight of the race for you?
I think first place into Londonderry was fantastic. This is being a close second, if not first. This has been fantastic, and the crowds, the supporters, seeing loved ones, seeing family are really special.
The Londonderry welcome is legendary, and the departure was something else, wasn't it?
It was an absolutely fantastic departure, full of highs and lows, and then a great race across the north coast of Scotland. Just awesome to be. That's where I learned to sail, back in home territory, and having some fun up there, playing with the tides.
We've got to mention Bermuda. You're carrying the name of Bermuda. What was it like there?
Bermuda was fantastic. They put on an absolute treat for us. They really looked after us. The whole team there in the yacht club, from the yacht club to the Bermuda Tourist Authority, really helped.
Enjoy the London welcome from on board Bermuda. Back to you.
Thanks, Neil. He's titled an AQP, an additional qualified person. I guess that's because the skipper can't be awake 24/7. Tell me about this role.
That's right. So yeah, the AQP is a bit of a strange title. A lot of people, if you're in sailing world, refer to them as first mates as well. It's a second in command to the skipper, so they're not quite as qualified as the skippers, but they've got a huge amount of experience. And this is to work alongside the skipper in terms of looking after the watches. For those of you that are watching at home that don't know, the team on board between about 17 and 21 crew on board at any one time. They'll be split into watches, normally a 2-watch system, so half are sleeping and half are working the boats, because of course the boats are racing 24 hours a day, so they're switching over every 4 or 6 hours. So normally the skipper will take overall control, but they'll quite often be attached to one watch, and the AQP will be attached to the other watch, so they're constantly looking, making sure that everything is, they've got the right sail plan up, they're making the best of the winds and the tides available, and keeping the boat racing, of course, but also making sure that, you know, they're keeping an eye on any damages. There's a little hole in the sail, then you have to get that repaired really quickly. So it's not just the sailing, but life and everything on board is taking place as it should.
And visit Sanya, China. I think it's their second race. They're located on this island south of Hong Kong. I think it's sometimes billed as the Hawaii of China, and it's this amazing resort, but also thoroughly focused on sailing as well, and they're very enthusiastic.
They're hugely enthusiastic, and it is a hugely fantastic place, and a lot of people didn't believe initially when they first took part in the Clipper race that they're somewhere in China could have beautiful white sandy beaches and be this kind of island paradise, but it's true. And I think as we proved on the previous edition of the race, it's a fantastic place to visit, and opened a lot of people's eyes to the potential of it as a place to go and holiday. And as you say, big focus on sailing in that area too.
Yeah, and I know they want to build their reputation as a sailing destination. Well, I think we can go back to Jess on Sanya.
Okay. So Sanya has arrived in the dock, and also I'm joined by Barry. How are we doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been a wonderful trip, unbelievable. I mean, I started this actually interesting. 2016, I did the investigation, and I did my training in the early 2018s. Then the 19 started, and here we are with the gap in between. It's been a long time, but the experience has been wonderful. Absolute experience.
So this celebration and homecoming has been a long time coming for you.
It has, and I wasn't sure how I was going to be at the end of it. There was a lot of spark originally, along low, and now it's come up again. And the celebrations have been wonderful, yeah.
Such an emotional roller coaster. And in the background, I can actually see that you guys have greenery. You have plants on there.
They came from Derry.
Yeah.
They came from a school in Derry who actually made all the boats had a different boat. So we've been keeping this nice and watered on, coming from Derry all the way around, and yeah, it survived.
Are there any huge memories that you can tell us on the boat? Ones that you can tell us?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the biggest memory is crossing the North Pacific. It was like a Groundhog Day. Every day was like wet, cold, and damp, but it was very memorable. We had some fun times, and there were some challenging times. And yeah, we pulled through as a team, as a group, and then every day we got up, did our bit, and we came back, and it's been been a good fun, good challenging.
Well, Barry, I'm going to let you ride this high. Congratulations and welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to Jonathan.
Thanks, Jess. And the North Pacific referred to again. And the interesting thing, you said Groundhog Day. You cross the international date line. You put your watch back 24 hours and live the day again. What's that like?
It's a really interesting one. We had a huge amount of fun with the international date line. As Barry was saying there, it is like Groundhog Day, so it's big, it's wet, it's cold, and every day feels like the same. So when you've got little milestones like crossing the international date line, which of course not many people ever get to do, so it's a big thing you celebrate. You can have a lot of fun with it, and we played some silly games. We made a lot of jokes about the mistakes that we'd made the day before and how we would know not to make them again. Yeah. So it's you on a leg like that is very relentless. There's not a lot of variation. You celebrate the milestones. 3,000 miles to go, 2,000 miles to go, 1,000 miles to go, and we would break out big kind of bars of chocolate that we'd hold back to celebrate those moments. It's tough, as you say, but it's the small things that keep you going. And as Barry was saying there, you really look after and support each other through those long legs.
And I guess if it falls, crossing the date line falls on your birthday, you can have your birthday twice.
Yes,
that would be fantastic.
What a great thought.
So UNICEF is there, and Neil is now with the crew of UNICEF. Neil?
Next boats to arrive back into London is 5th place UNICEF, on board UNICEF, having sailed all the way around the world. John, that is no mean feat. John Dawson from Shepton Mallet.
That's right, hello.
How does it feel to be back in London?
Oh, great. Great to have done the whole round the world trip, but great to be back home. Really looking forward to getting back into real life, if you like. But what an amazing experience we had. I mean, it was awesome, absolutely awesome.
The obvious question, what made you want to sail all the way around the world?
Oh, it was an accident. No, my son signed up first, and then he took me along to watch the 17-18 race come in, and I was so taken by it, I signed up on the day.
Now, you've got one over on your son now, haven't you?
Yeah, but he's a lot younger, so he can do it in the years to come.
Yes, but you've done the whole lot. He hasn't.
The whole thing, he hasn't yet, but never mind, he's a better sailor than I am.
So what's your sailing background?
None, I not sailed before I started this. I went through the clipper training and off I went.
And what's your sailing future?
Sailing, I'll be doing odd bits of sailing here and then with my brother and other friends, but not into it big time. I've got lots of other things.
And in a couple of words, the highlight of the circumnavigation for you?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things, I couldn't pick one. I think crossing the first ocean, so when we landed into South America in Uruguay, I mean, I just welled up with tears as to what we'd done. You know, we'd gone all the way down the Atlantic, north-south, coast of Africa, gone through lightning storms, all sorts, and then we landed in South America. And to have done that was absolutely amazing, yeah.
Lifetime of memories.
Absolutely, and a lot of great friends as well that we'll keep in touch with. I mean, when you live with people for week after week, month after month, you get to know them very well.
Go and join them. Go and join them. I'm keeping you away. John Dawson from Somerset on board UNICEF, which we should just say is the official charity of the Clipper Round the World race.
Thanks, Neil. And yeah, you heard the emotion there. And to actually take on the whole thing, I think there was a statistic that fewer people have sailed all the way around the world, certainly raced around the world, than have actually climbed Mount Everest.
That's true, yeah. It's such a unique thing. It's not. Let's face it, the opportunity isn't there for many people, and that's the great thing about the Clipper race. You know, gives that opportunity to people. Doesn't matter whether you've got to be 18. We've had people up into kind of late 60s, early 70s take part. Doesn't matter which country you're from. The opportunity is there if you're the kind of person who wants to aspire to take on the challenge, and it's all about offering people the opportunity to take on and step up to the plate. We offer the opportunity, but it's up to the individuals themselves to decide to do it and have the mettle and determination to take it on.
Yeah, well, let's hear more from WTC Logistics about their determination. Jess is with them now. Jess?
So we made our way across Seattle's boat to come over and say hi to WTC Logistics, who have just docked up, and Susie joins me.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I was going to say, it took me half an hour to get here, quite a long time. How long did it take you to get here?
It took me 3 years. Yeah, 3 years, but it's been great, a great journey, yeah.
Have they been long years, or talk to me through it?
Yeah, well, it's 11 months sailing, but obviously COVID for 2 years, but we're finally here, we had to come back, finish the race, finish what we started. So I'm glad I did it. So yeah.
Is there a particular major high or a major low that you can tell us about?
A bit both. We got 6 podiums.
Wow.
So we've since the COVID restart, we've got 5 out of 6 podiums. So we've done really well since COVID. So we've done 2 races, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. So we've done really well. So.
Are you a keen sailor already, or is this like your first time?
No, I'd never really sailed before. So I was So I got taught on the Clipper boat, and now I've sailed 46,000 miles, so yeah.
What gets someone like you who hadn't really sailed before to sign up to something around the world?
Yeah, I went to the information evening and they had an amazing video with huge seas, and I just like the old atmosphere of all this, everyone's around each other, and I went there to sign up for one leg, like the Pacific leg, being a Kiwi, and I couldn't resist doing the whole thing, so I signed up to do the whole round the world race.
What are you most excited to do once you get onto dry land?
Hopefully see my family. See most of my family are in New Zealand, but I was hoping my uncle and auntie are going to make it here today. But yeah, it's always nice to have a good shower though. Yeah.
Amazing. And what would you say to someone who's thinking about signing up?
Yeah, honestly, it's it'll change your life. It's not, I'm trying to go to every country in the world, so, I put that on hold to do the Clipper race. And, if you're tempted to do it, because it's amazing, it'll change your life, so.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jess. And we should say, talking about those podiums, that consistency got them into 4th place overall. And that final race, which had lots of challenges because of the light wind conditions, they actually came 2nd in that. So race 15, the race before they got to London, UNICEF came 1st, WTC Logistics came 2nd, and Qingdao came 3rd. And all those points added up to those final overall positions there.
That's right, and leaving, it's always kind of interesting to see what a difference you can make on the final race. There would have been a lot of people leaving Derry doing the math and figuring out how far in front of the nearest boat to them they needed to be in order to hold on to their position or climb a position. Qingdao will certainly have been kind of going, okay, we're 7 points or 6 points ahead of the nearest boat. We need to just, that's all we need to do. We need to just stay enough clear of them to be able to kind of retain our top position. So there's a lot of people kind of doing numbers on that final stages.
And here we see Halong Bay, Vietnam, their first entry into the race, and I think they're due to participate in the next race, all being well, and hopefully the race will be able to go there. And I went to Da Nang during one of the earlier races in Vietnam, a great country, and it's great to have all these different international destinations participating in this race.
It really is. It's great, and it's they're not always the same port stopovers in every race. There's some of them are the same, and a lot of them change. And it's great always to have a new race partner involved to take the race to a new destination, allow them to highlight what they have to offer on the stage, but also for the crews to get to go to a new port and to experience everything that has to offer as well. So everybody that's currently on board for the next edition, the 23-24 edition, very excited about about the potential to go into Halong Bay, Vietnam on their race. We're all looking forward to that.
Because you've got now just about a year before the next race. So I guess these boats are going to be thoroughly overhauled and prepared and rebranded and decorated, ready for this all to happen again in just over a year's time.
It's a big challenge for everybody. So everyone thinks that, okay, this race is over, you've got a year now, but there's a huge amount of work that goes into the background. So yes, all of the boats will go through a complete refit, 2 boats at a time, and that will start in a week's time, and that will take right the way through to, you know, preparing for the final weeks of training in next summer for the start of the next race.
Great. Well, Neil's made his way to Halong Bay. Neil, who have you got there?
And the next boats to tie up alongside in London at the end of their epic adventure around the world is Halong Bay in Vietnam. AQP is Maisie Bristow. And Maisie, you are the youngest AQP in the race.
Yes, yeah.
Well, just explain to people who don't know what an AQP is and what do you do? What's your role?
So AQP is an additional qualified person. So basically we also have our yacht master and we join the boat and we basically just help the skipper, help them do what they want to do and basically just do their plan and just help alongside, really.
So really busy role. This is not the only boat that you've done this race on, bizarrely.
Yeah, so I joined Dare to Lead in the Philippines as a watch leader, actually, so I wasn't with Clipper at the time. And then in Seattle I got off and got on Qingdao, who sadly lost their AQP. So I joined them as an AQP, did leg 7, the next leg 7, as an AQP on that to Bermuda. Then did another switch and got on Halong Bay for leg 8, which is brilliant.
What's your sailing background?
So I sailed dinghies from the age of 8. I raced and did lots of different things, really. Yeah.
And you're going to be doing lots more after, I can feel it. Maisie, congratulations on a podium position with the rest of the team from Halong Bay, Vietnam. Congratulations and welcome back to London.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Neil. Yeah, in 3rd place, Halong Bay. And now just sort of berthing is Punta del Este. Now this is in Uruguay, I think the 2nd time they've participated, and it's become a real favourite even after just a couple of races. It's an amazing destination, and I was reading that it's home to the largest sea colonies in the world, and its iconic La Mano. It's a large-scale sculpture of a hand rising out of the sand. It's one of the most impressive modern landmarks in the peninsula. It's a remarkable place, but possibly even more remarkable or more enjoyable is the fact that one of their sub-sponsors is a winery there. I had the opportunity just to sample a little bit last night, purely for research purposes.
Of course.
And it was very good. But this is it, I guess. You've got such a wide range of destinations. You sample not only, I guess, the hospitality, but you get to know the culture. And I know quite often the crew make an attempt to meet with local schools or go to projects. So it's not just that racing experience, it's the cultural experience.
That's right. You know, it's always great to go to these places, and a lot of our host book partners will do exactly that. There's a lot of trips arranged to look at local culture. Some of the places that we've been to, quite often crew are hosted by local families at times to really get a sample of what home life feels like in those very different cultural surroundings. So, you know, there's always a lot going on in stops. There's a lot of work that has to be done in each stopover, but there's great opportunities to see some of the local sites, get involved with some local projects, get to meet the local people and sample, as you say, the culture and the food and the wine and the beer is very much appreciated by crew after a month on board as well.
Well, we can hear from Punta del Este now. Jess?
I'm joined by Carrillo and Gusi. Welcome back. You guys probably had the loudest welcome. What were you chanting?
Well, we are really happy to have such a good reception here. Many supporters from all around the world. So we are very happy to be here. We really enjoyed it.
It was Punta del Este, though, the name of the boat that was coming in.
Yes, all the time. Very excited, see the people. I know many people fly here to see us. My family too, and excited for the race, for the finish the race, for everything.
And I understand that you guys are a part of the boat crew or the organisation that kind of pulled it all together, right?
What?
So before you set sail, you kind of brought everyone together, didn't you? You
Yes,
sailed before.
Of course, yes. We belong to the Yacht Club Punta del Este, which is the team partner of the boat Punta del Este. It's a yacht club, so we are sailing teachers. We used to teach the small children in the club. Imagine they are looking at us now, and it's strong to our feeling too.
And did you have any students who came on board with you?
Yeah, in the race around the world, yeah, but not now in that leg, but in another leg, yes. And excited for everything. I see it grow up, and after across the ocean, so amazing.
Were there any memorable moments that you can tell us about on the race?
For me, on the night across the ocean with the New York to Ireland, work together all the night, 12 hours, don't stop, and amazing. In a few moments, see the big wave, a lot of wind, but work together, it's amazing. For me, it's the best.
Sometimes the tough moments in the boat with very rough weather, big waves, became the best memories. So if you put everything on you and you succeed, this is very grateful. So we are very happy to can share this feeling with all the people around.
Well, I'm going to let you go and share the feeling with everyone here because you have a big crowd all waiting. They're all waving. We even have one of your team members waving the flag. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jess. Yeah, they're hugely proud. They've done incredibly well, and I know the whole of Uruguay is behind them. In fact, the ambassador is here to congratulate them as well. I mean, you know, it's great that the whole nation sort of get behind the Clipper race and the success of their teams.
It really is fantastic. It has a huge amount of support, and you know, they are at the end of the day. If you've got a host port sponsor, you know, you're representing that port, that country, and it's you know, it's maybe not the Olympics, etc., but it's still, you know, a huge sporting achievement.
Yeah. And another ambassador here, we have the ambassador of China also joining us today, which is fantastic. And we can go back to Neil now with the winning boat from China, Qingdao.
And the final boat to come home is the winner of the Clipper 1920 Round the World race, proudly bearing the name of Qingdao. It is Team Qingdao. And from Qingdao, Frankie, how does it feel?
I feel really exciting, and yeah, we finished the race and we got a really good answer. We got a champ here, and we hold about 11 months and get the top one. So really exciting, and 145 points. So that's a huge, and we win the champion, and we get the champion. It's so exciting. Back to London, and sailing around 40,000 miles. It's amazing sailing. It's an amazing race. I'm so exciting. Thank you.
Qingdao has a long association with the Clipper race. You're from Qingdao, and it was seeing the race that spurred you on to do this, wasn't it?
Sorry?
It was seeing the race that encouraged you to do this.
Yes. Sailing is a sailing capital in China, so it's a really famous city in China. So we're sailing a lot in Qingdao, and Qingdao gave me a lot of sailing experience, and the sailing focus on the Qingdao team, we are sailing Qingdao ambassadors. I'm so proud of me, I'm so proud of the team, and so proud of the Qingdao.
Well, you've come back to London, you've got a London welcome, but there's also a big Qingdao welcome out there for you as well.
Yes, exactly. So we are just so happy back to the London. It's around about 11 months on the ocean. It's so happy, and the Qingdao is get the champion. So really happy.
Really happy. Yes. Frankie, from Qingdao, on Qingdao, the winning boat for the 1920 Clipper Round the World race.
Thank you.
And your team, you work as one, don't you?
Yes, I do a lot of work on the boat, so I'm a professional sailor. I do a lot of helm on boat. I use a long time on the helm, so I use a long time on the helm and just keep boat to be faster, straight, and keep boat to be more faster and get the champion. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most when you get off?
Oh, I just want to do more race, and really happy for that, and yeah, looking forward to the next race. Yeah,
Frankie, go and celebrate with the rest of the crew.
Thank you.
The winners of the 1920 Clipper Round the World race is Qingdao.
Thanks, Neil. You just can't hold that enthusiasm down, can you? And I know they'll be so happy. Qingdao hosted the sailing competitions of the Olympics back in 2008. I think the first entry was back in 2005, 6, something like that.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Incredible, and I know they'll be so pleased. Now, if you're wondering why we haven't seen Imagine Your Career, they really had a tough time with these light winds that they endured in the North Sea. Just explain a little bit about that for us, would you, Della?
Yeah, so when the race departed Derry, they were straight away from race start into very light winds and sort of almost had a drift start when they left Derry. They then sort of picked up a bit more boat speed, but they got entangled into some fishing nets, which slowed them down. And then for those of people who understand the tidal flows around the north of Scotland, which is where the boats went around the top of Scotland, there's the Pentland Firth there, which has a very strong tidal flow through it. And if you get at the right time, you get through pretty quickly. And if you get at the wrong time, actually your progress is very slow. And because they were delayed due to fishing nets, they ended up getting at the wrong time, which set them behind the rest of the fleet. So they were delayed. They haven't quite made the boat in, but the team are here. So they are now about to join the rest of the teams. You'll see them there. They're starting to parade towards the big stage for the final prize giving and celebration. And Imagine Your Career team will be part of that. It's just that their boat is moored up off the coast somewhere, and we've had to kind of get them here as quickly as possible so that they can enjoy their celebrations.
Well, it was touch and go, so I'm so pleased that they've made it here. It's their first time Korea has had a boat here, their big tourism push, Imagine Your Career. So that's great that they'll get their moment on stage, which will happen shortly. And as you say, we've got the teams parading in. And if people have been inspired by all of this, you know, can anybody really pick up the phone or drop you an email and say, I think I might want to do this?
They really can. You know, it's truly for, you know, for people with the right mindset. If you've been inspired and you're already thinking, I want to be a part of this. I would like a bit of what these crews are telling us about here, some of the excitement, some of the challenge that they've been talking about, the adventure. If that's already setting your pulse racing, then you truly can. You know, as I said earlier on, crews have to be 18, so it's a minimum age of 18 to take part, although you can start training when you're 17. And we have crew members into late 60s, early 70s. Our oldest crew member has been 74. Regardless of age, of course, you need a reasonable level of fitness, but, you know, that's something anybody can work towards as long as you put a program in place, same way as if you're taking on a marathon. But, yeah, it doesn't matter, as we've said before, and we've heard from many of our crew, whether you've sailed before or not. And, you know, we put you through that intensive training, but you can apply. So there's lots of information in our website. You apply via our website, www.cliparoundtheworld.com. We also run webinar information sessions on a regular basis every 2 or 3 weeks. There are free webinars that you can sign up to join to get a bit more information about what's involved. Again, that's via the events page on our website. You can see when the next ones are coming up and join those. Or just get in touch and give us a call, send us an email if you've got questions to ask. We've got, for those of you on site here today, we've got the big red Clipper Race Dome, and we take that around the world with the race as well. So lots of information points where people, as the race goes around the world, can come and get information and find out what it takes to be a Clipper Race crew member. So the race is normally, pandemic forgiving, every 2 years. And so every 2 years we're kind of, you know, we're running through the recruitment process, finding crew to take part in the next edition of the race. So it's really just, a lot of people are nervous and think, oh, you don't really mean it's for me. And I was like that myself. You know, I remember seeing the boats come into Hull all those years ago and thinking, oh, it's for those sailing people over there. And it took me quite a while before the penny really dropped, and I realised that actually someone like me could apply to take part. So it's about just taking that first step, sending that first email, or getting that application sent in, and then starting the first step of the process. And then we're here to help and support you through it. If you want to do it, we are going to help and support you every step of the way. So if you're already thinking about it, I would say just be brave. Make that first step.
And you don't necessarily have to be from one of the destinations participating. anybody watching this around the world today could potentially get involved.
We've got over 45 nationalities taking part in the Clipper race at the moment. It gets bigger and bigger each year. Each year we have people contacting us, and they're always excited, you know, if they're representing a country that's never taken part before. You know, am I the first person from this country to take part? Then it becomes a great sort of story for them. I'm the first person from my country to take part in the race. So, you know, that adds a little bit of extra excitement for them. But yeah, it doesn't matter where you're from, your background, you know, you can be with these crews here as they're walking towards the stage for their big prize giving, for their big celebration. That could be you in 2 or 4 or 6 years' time.
Brilliant. And the other aspect is, you know, the amazing sights they see as they go around. And I know we've got a bit of tape to play in which shows some of those amazing sights during the race around Australia. Let's have a look at that for the next few minutes while they gather to get on stage. Incredible, incredible. So Christmas at sea, does Santa get to them?
Well, as you can see from that video, you know, it did get some. It's a great thing to have Christmas and New Year at sea, and that was on leg 4 of the 1920 race. You know, it's always times like that you can have a bit of fun. It doesn't last for long, of course, because you're still racing the boat, but you know, you can see there a real celebration. What a Christmas to remember for the rest of your life. Christmas, you know, down in the deep of the roaring 40s.
Fantastic. I see the Commodore there of the Punta del Este Yacht Club welcoming the team. They were so pleased last night at the reception, the whole delegation from Uruguay. But the thing is, everybody's happy because, just to reiterate, this is a huge achievement to sail around the world, and the time that separates the top and the last boat is really negligible. They've all taken on those oceans, those conditions to make it around the world.
It's a really interesting fact, that actually, because sometimes people say, you know, occasionally somebody will say, well, why is this boat a day and a half after the lead boat? And, you know, in individual races, it can look like that if you've missed a weather window. But I think a couple of races ago, we did the overall calculations from elapsed time, and the difference of overall elapsed time between the first boat and the last boat for the whole circumnavigation. And in terms of average speed, it worked out something like 0.04 of a knot over the 11 months. And that's just an indication of how close the racing really is. And we've had some super close races. One edition, actually, on the race, when we raced from Western Australia into Sydney Harbour, there was a photo finish between two boats, and they couldn't separate two boats after 14 days of racing at sea. It's really quite remarkable.
It is. And whilst the majority, I think, of your crew, or the largest proportion of the crew, are sort of, 35 to 55, and in that age group, I know it's pretty much equal, women and men. Which is unusual in sport, particularly, and even in sailing.
Yeah, so it's not quite equal in terms of actual numbers, but actually it's great. You know, we're working really hard to encourage more women to step up to the plate. You know, like a lot of sports, it's always seen to be a sort of male-dominated sport, but we're trying to help change that. You know, it's an equal opportunity whether you're a woman or man to take part in the Clipper race. And I think one of the other things I would say with we've got a lot more female AQPs coming through now, and they will hopefully in their turn be potential race skippers of the future.
Yes.
And I think that in itself really sets a great role model for more and more women to kind of say, this is something I can do, I want to do, and is achievable for me. So it's really great to see that representation for women getting more and more. You know, lots of female crew there, as you can see.
Fantastic. And I know a lot inspired by Sir Robin Knox-Johnston, who back in 1968-69, before the first Man on the Moon, he became the first person to sail solo non-stop around the world. And he's gone on to do it again and again, and he's still sailing now in his 80s. I mean, he's a remarkable force and a huge inspiration.
He is a huge inspiration, and so many crew that apply to take part in the race. You know, when I interview them, I kind of say, well, what first led you to learn about the Clipper race? And it's because they're researching Robin, reading about Sir Robin, you know, his achievements, and, you know, watching the documentaries celebrating the anniversary of his achievements. And then right at the end, it talks about the Clipper Around the World Yacht Race, and then they suddenly get introduced into this. What, you mean I can do this? I can have a chance to do this? So many of crew say, when I come, will I meet Sir Robin? You know, will I see him? And I'm like, oh, he's going to be round the pontoons when you're training, and you better know your knots, because he will be testing you on your bowling.
Absolutely. And actually, talking of knots, Dare to Lead have got a very novel fundraiser to help create bursary places for the next race, where they have 3 of Sir Robin's knots, and they're online to be auctioned. And the first knot, you even get lunch at Cowes, the Royal Yacht Squadron, with Sir Robin.
Oh, well, there you go. If you want to meet the great man, then...
So have a look at that. I think it's daretolead.auction. You'll see all about it, and you'll also be helping young South Africans from challenging backgrounds to experience this, because the race is a huge development experience for young people, for people of all ages, but particularly for young people.
Yeah, it's great when there are some bursary places like that that allow young people who wouldn't have the opportunity ordinarily to take part to become part of this, because you say it's a huge development opportunity. And actually so many crew, and again, you know, during that interview process, when I say, why do you want to do this, what do I hope to get out of this, will say, I see it as a great personal development opportunity. They want to learn more about themselves, want to find out what they really can achieve when they're really pushed. And, you know, a lot of people will say, I don't feel like I've ever really had a big challenge on my life, and I want to see what I'm capable of and find out if I'm capable of rising to the challenge.
Absolutely. Well, we can see the crews lining up. We're not far now from that final amazing prize-giving and experience on stage. And, you know, I know when everybody came back, that final hurrah, if you like, on stage is an amazing experience. Do you still remember yours?
Oh, of course. You know, it's a great time. You know, again, some of these people might not still have had an opportunity to go and hug friends and family. You're off your boats. You're straight into waiting for your turn on stage. you're celebrating with your teammates, and then you'll see the crowds in front of you. It's that final celebration of your achievement, and that's really, you know, that moment on stage is the final culmination of celebrating what you've actually managed to do, you know, whether for 1 month, 2 months, or the whole 11-month circumnavigation.
Yeah, I mean, I know this last race has been shorter because they've come from Derry, Londonderry in Northern Ireland, but after those big legs, when people arrive in port, the sort of priorities are favourite beverage, favourite food, a hot shower, and a bed that doesn't move.
That's right, yeah. So it's you know, it's very much focus on, you know, glass of beer or a cold drink or a glass of wine, fresh food, because of course during a long ocean crossing, it's a lot of tinned and packet food that the crew will be eating. So that chance to have a fresh salad or some vegetables.
Up to
or
5,000 calories a day, though, Ben, I understand.
Yeah, well, in the big cold legs, you're certainly burning a lot of energy. You know, in big rolling conditions, just keeping balanced on board the boat, even if you're not doing anything particularly challenging, will be constantly burning calories. Keeping warm is burning calories. So there's a lot of work goes into making sure that there's good hearty meals provided, and the crew themselves are responsible for doing that, organising their food or organising their rotas. Everybody takes their turn in cooking, you know, on a rotational basis, so everybody gets involved in every duty on board.
And it occurs to me, looking out here at friends and family, great family atmosphere, 40-odd nationalities working together to get around the world. I think a sobering but lovely message at the same time, isn't it? It's an example.
It's a great message of unity. It's a great message of what you can achieve together. It's a great message of, you know, not minding about cultural differences, where you come from. It is just a bringing together of individuals into a team and saying, this is what we can do together. Let's go to Bermuda there, having a great celebration.
I think they all are, and very well deserved. And I think a lot of messages like that to the crews, no matter where they've finished, that they have all, you know, deserve this moment. And I think Sir Robin said that they should be proud of themselves as he is of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is something to be proud of. And you know, some people, as we were talking earlier on, will go on, and it will be the starting block for them to go on to do other things, other challenges, take on, you know, whether it's sporting challenges, whether it's, you know, business challenges. They'll go on and they'll take on other things. For some people, this might be it. This is the culmination of the biggest thing they've ever done, but those memories will stay with them for years afterwards. And as a lot of the crew were already talking about in their interviews earlier on, the camaraderie and the bonds and the friendships that they've made during this whole experience will last forever. These people will be in touch with each other for the rest of their lives.
And these are people from all walks of life. They've raised the money, they've done fundraising, or many of the team partners, I'm so impressed, you know, create bursary places or competitions. So there is an opportunity for anybody, for any walk of life, ultimately, to sample this experience and benefit from it.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. You know, you know, most people will need to do some kind of thinking around fundraising. I had to do that myself. You know, when I decided that I wasn't going to do one leg, I wanted to do the whole circumnavigation. You know, I often say to people, it's a hugely challenging event for many.
Imagine your career. I'm just noticing they're definitely here.
Yes, they're here. Yes, to celebrate. But for a lot of people, the biggest challenge initially is about getting to the start line.
Great.
You know,
well, and talking of the start line, now the finish line, the final prize-giving ceremony, and Neil and Jess are on the main stage, and we can hand over for the final big ceremony.
On stage, the chairman and founder of the Clipper Round the World race, Sir Robin Knox-Johnston.
Well, welcome everyone. I just want to say to the crews, you did it. It's not been easy with the delays caused by COVID, but those of you who've come back have finished your race, finished your great ambition, and you've achieved a great deal. And to those of you who went all the way around the world, I just want to say, well, more people have climbed Mount Everest than you number. So well done, congratulations. And that's enough for me. Let's enjoy the prize giving. Go on, mate.
Yes, hello. How are we doing? Are we good? We happy to be here? My name is Jess Izzard. I'm joined by Neil Sackley. We're here for Clipper Around the World, aren't we?
This is very exciting, isn't it? They don't want to see us, Jess. They see you, but
No.
they don't want to see me. We want to see the teams, don't we?
We do. We want to see the teams, don't we? All right. Can you please welcome to the stage Dare to Lead? We have their skipper, Nigel Parry. And their race partner, Sam Van Dal, as well, joining the stage. Yes, how happy are you to see them? Well, thank you very much. Dare to Lead, everybody. Huge round of applause. Thank you very much, Dare to Lead. Once again, the skipper, Nigel Parry, race partner, Sam Van Dal. Thank you so much. Congratulations, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dare to Lead. Who's here supporting Seattle? Shall we bring them on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise, cheer for Team Seattle, led by skipper David Hartshorn. Here come Team Seattle now.
45 seconds in it, apparently, I hear.
You know the words? And Team Seattle are joined on stage by their race partner, Karen Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Team Seattle.
Yes, congratulations to Seattle. Happy birthday. All right, congratulations, congratulations. All right, who is here for Zhuhai? All right, let's welcome to the stage Zhuhai, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm not sure if they're coming up either side, but yeah, congratulations to Seattle as well. We have skipper Patrick van der Gieden and Zhuhai are about to make it to the stage. Are they ready? One more time, they're a bit shy. Come on, guys. One more time for Zhuhai, everybody. Yes, hands in the air. Congratulations, everybody. Give it up for the skipper, Patrick, as well. And please welcome race partner, His Excellency Ambassador Zhang. Welcome, welcome, thank you. Make your way to the front of stage. The skipper is Patrick. Patrick, make yourself known. Skipper Patrick, hello. We're good. Are you ready? Get to the front of the stage then, guys. We want everyone to see your beautiful faces. Are we ready? His Excellency Ambassador Zhang and the Zhuhai team. Give it up, make some noise. Come on, I want to be able to hear you. This is a homecoming. One more time for Zhuhai, everybody! Big congratulations. A huge success around the world. All right, Zhuhai, congratulations. We have our next team to welcome to the stage.
You would think after all this sailing, they'd want to sit down, wouldn't you? Congratulations, guys. Are you ready to bring on your next team? Are you ready to welcome back to London? Imagine your career. Led by skipper Rob Graham. And with the bubbly, the race partner is Han Kim. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, give it up for Imagine Your Career. Give them a massive round of applause.
Well done, well done.
Well, I did my very best not to get caught in the crossfire of that one. I'm actually pretty, yeah, I got hit. Did you get hit?
The forecast is for downpours of champagne.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I can actually smell that. All right, okay, I know that our next team are ready to come onto this stage, but are you ready to welcome them? Who's here for Go to Bermuda? Please welcome to the stage, Go to Bermuda, everybody. Here they come. Welcome. And we have the skipper, David Wavy Immelman. The stage is actually... Give it up, Go to Bermuda, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Bermuda.
Give it up for Go to Bermuda. Well done. Huge congratulations to Go to Bermuda.
Ladies and gentlemen, in 6th place in the Clipper Round the World Race 1920, please make some noise, some incredible noise for Visit Sanya, China. Led by skipper Mike Miller. Let's bring the team on, let's bring the team on. And the race partner for Visit Sanya, China, His Excellency Ambassador Zhang. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up, please, for Visit Sanya, China.
Yes, and our next team are ready and waiting in the wings. Who is here to see UNICEF? All right, I want to hear you nice and loud to welcome them onto this stage. Please welcome UNICEF! Give it up, UNICEF, everybody, and their skipper, Ian Wiggins. And please welcome their race partner, Andy Todd. All right, thank you so much, UNICEF. You have done amazing things, crossing the world. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Thank you very much, and a huge congratulations to UNICEF, everybody.
It's also worth reminding you as well that UNICEF are the official charity of the Clipper Round the World race. Since Clipper and UNICEF have been involved with each other, almost £500,000 has been raised for the charity.
That is incredible. That deserves a round of applause in itself, doesn't it? Give it up, everybody. All right, who do we have next?
Okay, these cheers are going to get louder. The champagne's going to get wetter as we bring on stage WTC Logistics, led by skipper Dan Jones, and joined on stage by race partners Ricky Hollis and Anthony Clark.
Huge congratulations.
Nobody got any sleep on their boat, did they? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, WTC Logistics.
Well done, WTC Logistics. Okay then, so we have made it to our first podium position. Are we ready? Are we ready? In third place, please give it up for Ha Long Bay, Vietnam, everybody! Welcoming onto the stage in a pure style, the Ha Long Bay Vietnam team, including skipper Josh Stickland. Third place, and we also welcome the race partner, the deputy ambassador, Do Ming Tu, to the stage as well. In third place, Ha Long Bay, Vietnam, everybody. Make some noise. Congratulations. Well, I don't think enough congratulations are in store, of course. Ha Long Bay, Vietnam, the crew, and the skipper, Josh Stickland.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Ha Long Bay, Vietnam. I can tell you that our team in second place are chomping at the bit. There are a lot of support down at the front. For what team? Punta del Este, bring them on stage. Geronimo is then skipper. And the race partner from Punta del Este, Commodore Juan Echeteria. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for our team in second place from the Clipper 1920 Round the World race, Punta del Este. Once again, give it up for Punta del Este as they leave the stage.
Of course, huge congratulations to Punta del Este, second place. But we have reached that time for #1 place in the Clipper Around the World race. Are we ready? Are they ready? I feel like they didn't hear you. Are you ready to meet the winners? Okay. I feel like that was good enough. Guys, please welcome in first place, Junto! Huge congratulations, welcome. Skipper Chris Brooks. I want to hear some noise for your winners of the Clipper Around the World. Okay, before we get into the trophy, just before we award that, we do actually have a thank you video from Qingtao. Please cast your minds to the screen.
青岛号大帆船乘风破浪4万海里，金榜题名，可喜可贺。我代表青岛奥帆委，向青岛号大帆船的船长和全体船员们送上最真挚的祝贺与祝福，同时向克利伯组委会长期以来支持青岛打造帆船之都表示衷心的感谢。青岛与克利伯的合作可谓是雄心壮志，有梦在。 精诚合作18载，上下求索，扬帆起，帆船之都。
And there we see the team on stage as we come to the end of this amazing show. Goodbye from